got some new Rigg gear door bags for the Textron Havoc. Textron also has some purpose-made door bags for the Textron Havoc, Arctic Cat now. They're not that great. They're just mesh pockets. They're very flat. There's not a whole lot of space in them, so I was looking for some alternative. I've got Rigg gear bags on my Razor, so I picked these up. These are universal. So you've got 4 mounting holes in the back. It also doubles as a pad, a knee pad, which you really don't need in the Havoc. But this foam comes out of here nice and easy. But then you can see you've got a nice large pocket. Put whatever you want in there. We have a lot of trouble with when I take my wife riding. She always has snacks and her phone and stuff like that, and she ends up holding them in her lap a lot, and then they end up all over the floor. And one time the phone ended up 3 feet deep in a mud hole. Somehow we managed to find it, but these will help us solve that. So what's also good about these Rigg gear bags is they come with a template for you to mark and drill your holes. So you've got a driver's side template, and of course you got a passenger side template. You've also got these little plastic fasteners. I think you've all seen these before, but you drill the holes in the plastic and you push these through. That secures your bags onto the door. Should work pretty well. So we're going to go through this. So far I'm happy with the Rigg gear bags that I have in my Polaris, so I'm sure that I'll be happy with these. One thing that we did find, especially if you get into some really muddy situations, is these zippers are kind of fine, which can result in them getting bound up a little bit, especially if you get in a lot of sandy mud. Not a good situation, but I did pick up some, and I'm looking around the camera to see what I can find here. I picked up some Starbright zipper lube. I used this on the other bags on the Razor after we had some issues, and it fixed the issue really nicely. The zippers work well, nice and smooth, and they don't get bound up. So you're supposed to apply this, I don't know, every few months. But when we go on big rides, I make sure that I reapply some, and that keeps him working freely. So that's good stuff. So without further ado, we're going to go try to get these installed. So you can see here, this is where the door bags from Textron go, kind of right over top of this. But you might hope that the door bag kind of fit into this recess and gave you a little bit more room, but from what I can tell, the pictures online, that's not the case. It's just a flat bag that goes over top of that. Kind of fits this shape. So we're going to put the Rigg gear bags generally in this same location. You can see here I just wiped it down, cleaned this up a little bit before I get this installed. So what we're going to do here with these bags, we're going to use actually the trapezoid going the other direction. So I'm going to mount them about like that on these doors. I did test this out a little bit last night when I got the parts in, so I think it's going to work out pretty well. That bottom corner down here does pick up the plastic, and then of course all the other holes will pick up plastic on the door. So I think it should go pretty smoothly. We'll let her dry, and then we'll see how it goes. Alright, so they tell you to cut these out. You can cut along the edge if you want. I'm going to go ahead and do it just for grins. for the doors to dry. Cleaned them up so that we have a clean surface. It appears all my good scissors are missing, so I might have to pause this and go back. Maybe this is going to work. So what we notice here whenever we look at these templates, they would like us to install them. Hold on. So if I'm looking at the passenger side, they want it installed this way being forward. You can see here, here's the template. For this Textron Havoc application, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to install the driver's side on the passenger side so that I can pick up all the points of the plastic. So what that means is I'm going to use the driver's side template to put the holes in for the passenger side door. Again, this is forward. All right. So as you can see here, this is where we're going to put this. Here's my driver's side template. I'm going to align this template such that it's parallel with the bottom opening of this. I'm also going to go over this hump here a little bit to put that other screw in. And you can see here I have, in this location, I have about a 1/2 inch left for that hole. So luckily my wife has one of these craft markers, white paint, so that should work well. Obviously you can use whatever you want to use, but I just want to get this line back up, and it looks like actually there's the one hole that we had last time. Drop this down just a little bit. So mark it there, mark it there, there, and there. And then we got to grab the drill and get the recommended size bit. We'll knock these holes in here. So we're supposed to use a 9mm or 23/64 for these holes. Out of all my drill bits, I had no 23/64, and I don't have any metric. But I found this one that's kind of in between, using a one of the scales that I have. So we're going to give her a shot. These are these old busted bits that I had. Tried to sharpen it a little bit, but didn't get too sharp apparently. They do warn you, don't get too carried away with your drill. You don't want to drill through the outside skin. I think I could agree with that. Hopefully there's no structure back here behind this. I'm going to find out real fast. So far so good. This one's a little challenging to get to. Bag and the fasteners and see what happens. All right, so we got the bag, we got the fasteners. Like I said, there's a foam insert. We're going to take that out. That's just if you're going to use it as a knee pad. And I'm going to start with this top right corner or top left corner and push her in. I feel like maybe we could have gone a size smaller on the drill bit. Again, the next size down was not right. recommend it. But that's actually pretty tight fit, so went on easily and doesn't want to come off, so let's see. So there you go. See how it ends up installed. Give you a little bit more light here from behind. Nice storage area. Cool. So we're going to go off and do the driver's side. Alright, so the driver's side is just a repeat of the passenger side. Again, I'm going to make this parallel up here on this line. So also I got these on Amazon for like 45 bucks, 46 I think with tax. And Rigg offers a lifetime warranty on these bags, which is a pretty good deal. I mentioned that before I had some issues with the zipper on the other bags that I bought, that I have in my Razor parked outside. And I called them up and I said, hey, listen, the zippers aren't working. They were all prepared to send me brand new bags. But they said, hey, make sure that you're using, lubricating the zippers, as we recommend that. And I lubed them up with that Starbright zipper lube, and it's been good. So I didn't hesitate to buy another set. I think they installed pretty nicely. They're nice and tight there. And will provide us a little bit of extra storage in our Textron Havoc X. Alright, so here's another thing I figured out. I want to be able to put my phone in these pockets, not have them bounce around, get sand all in them, and ultimately just scratch up the face like hell. Even if I've got a screen protector on it, I still would like to protect it some. So what I decided was this would be pretty cool. I don't want this whole pad in there, obviously, because it takes up all the storage space. So I'm going to take this front half off, and I'm going to leave this back half intact. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a slot into that, the size of the phone, so that the phone can slide right down in the top of there, and it'll hold it in place. I don't use the phone most of the time for navigation. I use a Samsung Galaxy Tab. So I need somewhere to tuck this phone where it's not going to get all banged up. So I already tried this on the passenger side, kind of to test it out. Actually worked out really well. So I'm going to walk you through what I did over there on the driver's side. So the first thing is I lay the phone on here. I leave myself about a 3/4 of an inch there. Also, you want a little bit sticking out of the top of the phone so that you can grab the phone. Obviously, if you get it tucked down in there too deep, you won't be able to get to it. And I just trace a line there to give me a guide for where I'm going to cut this slot. And I'll just use a square here real quick. I measured from the start of the straight edge out an inch here. And then I'm going to take from this bottom edge, that's what I'm going to call my square edge, and I'm going to mark this. Okay, that'll give me a little bit of edge distance on this side so that it doesn't fall down into the pocket when I cut my slot out. But then it'll also give me all this area for storage of whatever else I want. Now, if I want to, I'll still have this half, so I could certainly put it back in and have that padded the whole way. But that's probably not going to happen. Also, there are a couple reasons why I picked this aft side to put the phone and not the forward side. One, it won't fit. Two, if I cut this and want to keep it in, it's just going to fall back into this corner. If I keep this larger end in, because of the taper of the bag, it won't slide forward. It might slide forward a little bit, but you know what I mean. It'll mostly hold it in place just because of the structure of the bag. So then what I did here is I just took a drywall saw, and I'm going to, all right, so that's the depth on this side. So I'm just going to mark this here so that I don't go too deep. So that's the short side, and then the longer side actually isn't that much different, but I'm going to mark that as well. And then of course in the middle, you know, I'll be somewhere in between that. This actually works really well. I've watched some foam cutting videos, you know, just people making seats and stuff. It seemed to me they use something similar to this. Probably not. Might be a little bit finer teeth because this does tear things up a little bit. But for the purpose of what I'm doing, it works just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and center it in the foam, and I'm just going to go ahead and start plunging that in there. So there, you can see I got to the bottom of this on the aft edge. So then I'll just begin to cut until I get over to the forward edge. That's probably about it. And then I'll just kind of start dragging the foam out, because there would obviously there's a lot of foam that's cut. It's already in there. And because I'm making this video, now I cut a crooked hole. But no worries. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just needs to fit the foam and keep it secure. So now that that's cut, we'll see that I cut it enough. See if the foam will fit in there. It looks like it might be a little bit on the narrow side. Yeah, it is a little narrow. So I'm going to cut it a little bit more so it's not such a pain in the neck to get in and out, right? Because ultimately you want it to be easy to get in and out. Oh, there we go. I went through the bottom like I didn't want to. Ultimately, going through the bottom doesn't matter that much either. So there, that actually fits pretty well. So then what I'll do is I'll just take my razor knife, because it should make a slightly nicer cut. I wish I had a longer razor knife. Maybe I can use this old knife. Reasonably sharp. Let's see how this works. Yeah, that's going to work a whole lot better than using the razor knife like I did last time. This foam cuts really easily. So look, pretty nice clean cut. This I'll keep stored somewhere else so that I can use it later. And then this one will go in the aft portion of the bag. Right, so now you can see this is the cut portion of the foam. So I've got this to store my phone in. Then I've got a little bit of extra storage up here for whatever, power cords, so on and so forth, that I don't want to stuff in. And then you can see my phone. This is an iPhone 10. You can stuff that right in there and zipper her up, and we're good to go. Now my phone's nice and stable right there in that pocket. I don't have to worry about it bouncing around, getting all scratched up, so on and so forth. And we'll see, can I pull this out with one hand? It's a little bit snug right now, so
Probably not. I'm gonna have to use 2 hands to pull it out at first, or obviously take more foam out, but meets my needs, and we'll see how it works on the track.